Good evening, Hive fans. Randy Ingersoll here, preparing to broadcast live a tournament match between Dube, Frank Chen, and Jewdoka, Joe Schultz. This is a semifinal game, in the semifinals of the 2020 Hive Online World Championship. As always, while I'm broadcasting live, my second screen is over here to my right, so you'll see me looking occasionally that direction as the game progresses. Of course, we'll be waiting in the lobby. Dube has already checked in the lobby. Let me know he'll be back in about 15 minutes. They're scheduled to start at 10:30 Central Time, which is 9:30 my time here on the East Coast. This is game 2 of the match. Game 1 was last weekend. It was over fairly quickly. It took less than 30 minutes. Dube won. We're going to do a quick review of that game. They opened with ladybugs. Jewdoka playing white chose a Z opening. And Jewdoka got a beetle up very quickly. Dube's defended with a beetle. And it was very, very, very quickly. It looked like Jewdoka might be winning. So let's just continue here. They both have a bug up on top of the hive. Jewdoka got his beetle in a very good attacking position. Dube has a mosquito in a defensive position, covering white or Jewdoka's mosquito. And the white beetle covered fairly quickly. Christian Sperling has entered the lobby, so hopefully he'll be joining me this evening. As they continued, Jewdoka did not get his his pill bug in place very quickly. He continued to attack. Dube attacked. Jewdoka had to defend. Here comes another beetle, also defended by Jewdoka. And this was a very good move here. Christian Sperling was in the room with me watching, and we were counting how long it would take the black mosquito, get into attacking position. And what he did was he dropped down to ground level where it gained ladybug power, and it attacked straight away. And then the grasshopper jumped over, allowing the beetle to come down for victory. So it was quick, surprising. Dube won game 1. So we'll be looking forward to an exciting game this evening. Of course, they met last year in the semifinals as well. Jewdoka won 5-3. Okay, so I am going to send a little note to... I posted it on the Facebook page. Jewdoka has joined as well. Let me send him a little note here. So I was kind of hoping that Christian Sperling, Eucalyx, would be joining me. So he is in the lobby. I just directed him to the Facebook page. Francesco Salerno has a Facebook page. It's entitled Hive, the Boardless Game. If you're interested, really interested in Hive, it's a nice Facebook page. You can ask for an invitation and join there. So let me also go to Twitter and send out a tweet to let everybody know that I am currently broadcasting live. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Randy. I think this time I figured it out quicker how it works. I'm not really prepared. I just coincidentally saw your post on Facebook, so I immediately jumped in, which means I haven't really prepared my setup. I don't even see. Oh, I obstructed the camera probably. I'm not sure. How much time do I have to set things up? Are they already playing?
No, they're scheduled to start in about 6 minutes.
Okay, so I think I will then just get my setup ready. I think 6 minutes are enough, and I see you then.
Okay, very good. Thanks. So that's exciting. Again, we're going to have a previous world champion, my original Hive mentor, Christian Sperling, plays under the name of Eucalyx, will be joining us this evening. Right now, we've got a good view of his ceiling fan.
Sorry about that. I wasn't aware that it was still on. I don't really know what to show you in the meantime. I think you have to do with like, I don't know what the camera is showing.
So Jewdoka's ready. He's already in game room 1 at boardspace.net. So we'll be sharing my screen so you can see that as we play this evening. Dube is in the lobby, but about 10 minutes ago said he'd be back shortly. So they're scheduled to start at 9:30 my time, Eastern Standard Time, which is 02:30 Sunday morning GMT. So if you're watching this from Europe, it's real early on Sunday morning. Thanks for staying up so late. It's perfect for us here in the States and in the Western Hemisphere. Of course, Christian is in Australia, so it's already tomorrow afternoon there. So it should be some exciting Hive this evening. Wonder if it's going to go another quick game, another 30-minute game like last week, or an hour and a half or 2 hour struggle. So last year in the semifinals, Jewdoka won 5-3. And then Dube went on, lost to Louise in the bronze medal match, 3.5 to 4.5. So last year's 4th place finisher, Dube, playing against the runner-up from the last 2 years, a world champion from 3 years ago, Jewdoka, Joe Schultz. And of course, since then, Joe has published his book, The Canon of Hive Groundwork. It's the first of 3 books that he's planned. Very, very good book. It's the second best Hive book on the market. Smile, smile. Of course, if you've been watching on my YouTube channel, here's my book, Play Hive Like a Champion, 2nd edition. And as someone noted, I am working on the 3rd edition. Working on another book as well. It's a lot of work to write and prepare a book. I am going to mute Christian until he gets set up because he's making some noise there in the background. So we should be playing Hive here very shortly. Jewdoka versus Dube, game 2 of their semifinal match. In 2019, Dube, who plays under the name Frankenstein79 at Board Game Arena, in his qualification rounds, ran up against some very strong competition. He beat Louise in the Swiss round 2-0. He beat A.E. Norman 43-2-0, lost 0-2 to Jewdoka, split 1-1 with Happy Kiwi, beat Stepanzo 1.5 to 1/2, and split with Eucalyx 1-1. Some very strong competition in his Swiss rounds last year. Prepared him for the round of 16, where he beat David E.G. 3-0, quarterfinals beat Niles 4-1, and then lost to Jewdoka in the semifinals. So some exciting Hive we're looking forward to this evening. And we welcome you all on my YouTube channel. And for those of you that are interested, that tomorrow, that Sunday, there will be a tournament played, a live tournament played at Board Space. Give me a minute here and I will see if I can pull up the tournament page. It's entitled the First Fall Rapid Hive Tournament. It starts Sunday the 15th of November at 1600 GMT. It's a real-time tournament. Swiss tournament, 6 rounds, 10 minutes per players, no extra time. So it should be exciting. Unfortunately, due to the timing, I won't be available to broadcast or play live, but I should be checking in toward the end of the tournament to see how it's going. Right, currently there are 19 players signed up, including some very good players: Sasigi, Eucalyx, Frasco 92, Gandak, Ihalanen, Hawk 81, Jonas K, Louise, Quadlabet. So it should be some exciting Hive, Rapid Hive, which sometimes on the Rapid Hive, it's a lot more exciting. As one of the players in a tournament game earlier in this tournament made the comment that when people review this game in the future, they hope they realize it's played rapid because there are mistakes made when it's played under rapid time controls. So we should be going live here very shortly with a semifinal match, game 2, Dube versus Jewdoka. Be interesting to see how many people we have watching this evening. On the tournament page, there's a place for players to post comments. And so, of course, Joe posted the time so we all knew when they were planning on playing. And Joe is here already waiting in room 1. Dube's in the lobby, but had stepped away. And Christian Sperling is with me here in Zoom, getting set up down under in Australia. So you'll be getting his commentary this evening as well. And Frank has shown up back in the lobby. Just said hello to Joe, so we should be starting here very soon.
Okay, Randy, I'm ready. I'm set up.
Okay, Christian is in and they're about ready to go. And we have Jackie and Troy joining us in the Zoom room as well.
So what about your participation in the upcoming tournament, Randy? The live tournament?
That time of day is not positive, I'm not available. So unfortunately, I won't be able to either play or broadcast.
Yeah, it's not convenient for me either. It starts at 2 a.m. in the morning and will last at least until 4. And if I would make it to the finals, then it would probably last until 5 a.m. So I'm just mainly participating to show my solidarity and support this tournament, because there went a lot of effort into it and a lot of planning and to make it work.
Oh, interesting. I was not paying attention to the conversation going on. So looks like they'll be starting shortly.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much to disclose. I think Jewdoka's wife had some issues with COVID, and so did he, but he tested negative as far as I know. But of course, it's always a worry. And yeah, so he didn't feel that well in the last days. And so we talked, because I play constantly with both players on Board Game Arena. And Joe, yeah, said he was very tired and probably also a bit concerned, understandably.
That's what they were discussing there. So, well, they're started. So let's get going here. See if we can get they are off and running. Dube started with the pill bug, followed by the queen.
Yeah, so perfectly standard opening. Absolutely no surprises here. And you see by the speed that they are both very familiar with this opening. And I think at this point, this is where the opening is kind of at its end and where you would kind of enter the middle game.
So Apollo Q has just sent me a note in the lobby asking if he can join. So he might be joining us as well. That's John Sandal. Or Sandal. So Joe's in his first think here. As Frank moved in with his first ant.
Yeah, it's not easy from here because there are so many opportunities. We know they both haven't made a mistake at this point because it's such a well-known opening. But from here, there are different paths to go. And so it's no wonder that Joe takes a bit of time. I think he places his pillbug not directly next to his mosquito, even though it seems to be more intuitive. I think the idea is that he keeps his the maximum mobility for his mosquito. If he would play his pillbug closer to his mosquito, the mosquito wouldn't be able to utilize its full potential with the end mobility.
So in came another white ant, and of course, as it came in, it also gives the white mosquito ant power.
Yeah, that's a very kind of easy move to do because, yeah, that's what you want to do as quickly as possible. Just expand your options for the mosquito. And then it's also harder to attack, of course, because it's easier to run into a counter. But of course, I don't think Joe wants to attack that quickly from this position on. Although we have seen some crazy moves.
We have, haven't we?
Yeah, difficult. I don't really know what I would play at this point. Because if Joe brings in another end, it will be probably immediately pinned by Dube's end. But if he doesn't, he's getting behind and gets more pressured. So he probably has to sacrifice one. When you look at a position like this, it looks like Dube has a bit more aggression going on, and that's true. But on the other hand, Joe has a better defensive position because that pillbug on the other end, at the east side of the black queen, is better than the white queen, which doesn't have so many possibilities to lift out the queen, and it can be easier covered, or it's more prone to be covered from how to say that, when a beetle comes up the hive and goes over the black ladybug. So that's what's happening more easily. For example, if Joe would place a beetle, it's not the best move I can imagine now, but then his mosquito could immediately go up to the black ladybug and from there cover the white pillbug. So what's happening in this game is it's probably more about getting a good position. Dube tries to pin as many ends as possible, while Joe tries to form maybe a kind of a defensive shell from where he can then kind of slowly wiggle out or have a beetle factory or like a pocket where he can place a beetle, something like that.
One day I'll figure out how to make sure that my screens pop up on the right screen so they don't interfere with the, sorry about that. And here comes the first beetle.
Randy, you could minimize the chat window again so we have the screen a little bit bigger. I think that was a suggestion from, I don't know who it was last time.
To minimize which one?
The chat window in board
space. Oh, the chat window, yep.
Yeah.
And then as you mentioned, when the black Jewdoka could move the mosquito over, and now he's got his mosquito on one side of the queen and his pill bug on the other.
Yeah, so he did it a bit differently than what I suggested, but the principle is exactly the same. It's easier to cover the white pill bug from that side. And he has also his defensive shell, so it's hard to attack. And yeah, so, and this is the point where like the game can quickly kind of get messy or switch sides when you think, okay, white has the upper hand, white is the attacker because white is the start player. But once we have a situation like that, now white needs to react, either put immediately a lot of pressure on or trying to force to lift out the queen or do something or lift out the pill bug. And this is what would happen if the black mosquito goes on top of the white pill bug, then probably the black pill bug would be lifted out by the white mosquito, which also then traps the black beetle. To avoid that, he takes an additional move. It's
So do you think? So do you think that white will defend by bringing in a beetle? Nope, he's going to attack.
What I wanted to say is it's very hard to count tempo at this position because Joe is still so far away from winning. On the other hand, he has so many defenders, which means also for Dube it will take quite a while to really get into a position where he can see, oh, I could potentially win in 4 or 5 moves. And I think they are both going for the attack. I don't think they have counted. I think they have a good idea who might be in front, and I think they both think they are.
So definitely an aggressive game so far.
So what will happen is if Dube is continuing to attack, at some point he has to release either probably then the ladybug, and this ladybug would then jump over to attack. And this is where Joe could potentially steal tempo. And to avoid that, Dube has to spend an additional 1 or 2 moves, for example, to pin somehow the ladybug or to get another bug in, which can fill then the vacated space. And that loss of tempo can be beneficial for Joe again to continue his attack. Of course, he's in a strong position once he is on top of the white queen, having a lot of direct drop opportunities.
And of course, a spawn point right here to the left of the ladybug would free the ladybug immediately at the expense of pinning the mosquito.
And he can, if he doesn't play a spider, but for example, a hopper at the left to his black ladybug, then as soon as Dube starts attacking, at some point, even that first he would move out with his ladybug, and then later on, Joe's hopper would also be free and can also attack. So it's really hard for Dube to make progress without losing his attacking position, or not his attacking position, but his advantage, which he might still have at this moment. He could, for example, try to pin the black mosquito, but if he uses his end, then the black beetle would immediately go on top of the white queen, have 3 direct drop opportunities, and additionally, because he leaves the white pillbug, the mosquito would gain also pillbug abilities. So obviously, Dube wouldn't do that. But I think we are not even seeing that because Joe is considering to move this mosquito. Okay.
John Sandel is joining us. Apollo Q. Welcome, John.
Thanks. Hey, Christian. And hi, Troy. Nice to
Hi,
meet you.
hi, John. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Oh, now I see you like super tiny because I have a tablet screen and then only half of it is actually used for the Zoom
Right.
session. And then like a quarter of that is used for the picture things.
There you go.
So Joe used that spot to the left of the ladybug to spawn a new ant.
I've noticed that Joe really, when facing the pillbug opening by white, he really seems to prefer getting a beetle up early. So I don't know how quickly that happened here, but it does seem like he's thinking about it.
I think what Joe did well was he forced the beetle up quickly, but not that quickly. He first made sure that he had a kind of a good defensive position, sandwiching his queen between the ladybug and the pillbug, and then forming kind of a defensive shell. And then he brought in his beetle. It was a bit kind of a covert operation because the beetle was not directly next to the mosquito, and then the mosquito jumped over. So the mosquito was actually threatening to cover the pillbug, but because of Dube's actions, it was a better or smarter way to take 2 steps and go with the beetle on top, and not only using 1 step and going immediately with the black mosquito.
And so this white placement of the first grasshopper using a spawn point on the white queen also has the advantage. Not only does it have an angle of attack to this spot or the spot vacated by the ladybug, it also, if the black beetle covers the white queen, then there are no direct drop spots adjacent to the queen as well. So do you think that's a consideration, Christian?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the main point, because it really also releases the end. So he has his end free now for defensive operations. So if I was Joe, probably he might pin now the end, because he can replace, he can have still more than enough bugs in. Yes, exactly. That's what I would do. So it's, in this case, Dube's hopper didn't do that much. It still prevented 1 direct drop spot if the black beetle would move onto the queen. So at the moment, I would see a slight advantage for Joe, simply because he has a better defensive position. But it's still fairly even. I think the ladybug is again the crucial piece, because it will stay there for quite a while, and only if it gets really crucial, then it will hop out.
Hey, everybody, I have to step away for a minute or two, and hope to be back soon.
Okay, John.
Randy, you are the specialist and quick bug counts. What is your bug count? Who do you think is ahead?
Well, let's take a look. So if the critical point's going to be the spot where the ladybug is. So white can win in 1, I think white's count is 4, because you can count on both of these 2 black bugs to be vacated at some point during the attack. So can Joe win in 4? 1, 2. I don't think 1, 2. Quick bug count. It's 4 on each side.
So that means since it's Joe's move, then Joe would be ahead.
Joe would be ahead, yep. Because we're counting on both the ladybug and the mosquito being vacated in a defensive position at some point. And there are no direct drop opportunities available as well. And so here we go.
Yeah, so he attacks and he knows he's ahead. And I think it's a good choice to start the attack with the ladybug and not with the mosquito, because the ladybug vacates a space which is harder to fill. And also it would immediately release the mosquito if the white hopper adjacent to the white queen would jump into the spot which was just vacated by the black ladybug. Oh,
no, I just noticed something regarding that bug count. The grasshopper and the mosquito, their angle of attack were both to the same spot. So it would have been difficult to get to this spot southwest of the white queen.
Yeah, that's the disadvantage of moving the ladybug away. As long as he keeps his ladybug in place, the mosquito has also ladybug power. Yeah, very, very difficult position. I mean,
See, now that's another interesting option as well, because now this spot right here becomes a potential spawn point.
You mean, for example, for a hopper?
For a hopper?
Because that hopper,
or for a beetle.
Yeah, but if the white hopper doesn't jump into a gap, then the black hopper would pin the white hopper. So he would basically force the white hopper to become active. Yeah, what I was about to say is that this is a problem most Hive players face and where they struggle, like beginners as advanced players alike. Do I attack? Do I defend? What is the bug count? It's just, especially in a live game, you counted 4, but there are so many implications depending. The situation changes radically depending on if Joe just moved his ladybug out or his mosquito out, and then you have to start counting again after each move. And that makes it a very difficult or complex game. So what are Frank's or Dube's opportunities right now, or options? He can't really attack with his hopper next to his mosquito. If it jumps to the left, he frees either the black ant or the mosquito. So that's not good. So he's losing some tempo. If he jumps right across, then the queen is free and could potentially move out. Also, it's hard for him. Yeah, okay, that's mainly it. It would just free the queen. He could still do it. What happens if the queen moves, for example, to the left?
Well, if the grasshopper moves northeast of the black queen and the queen moves directly to the left.
Yeah. And would that be an advantage for either player? Because if the queen moves to the left, then the mosquito is pinned again. Of course, he gets his grasshopper free, but also he would have to spend an extra move first to move with his queen. So it might become a wash then, like no one gains anything. but maybe not. Maybe it, I don't think it's a particularly good move. So, but if we rule out the grasshopper move next to the mosquito, jumping in with the other grasshopper next to the white queen, as I pointed out, it just frees 2 pieces, the black hopper and the black mosquito. So that also doesn't seem to be a good choice. Attacking with an ant means releasing an ant. Bringing in a new piece sounds like a good choice, but of course it also means losing another tempo. While Joe, how would Joe continue to attack? I think Joe also has to bring in a new piece. And if Dube doesn't attack, then the new piece is likely brought into that pocket and into that hex trap, or in that almost closed black circle.
In the interior here.
Yeah. But if the white hopper moves over, then he can't do that, because if he would do it, then it would be an immediate loss. Yeah, so this might be the crucial point where the game is won or lost.
And of course, one might immediately say the white mosquito can climb atop the black queen, but that loses a valuable tempo, doesn't it, Christian?
Yeah. As far as I can see, maybe if the hopper jumps right up and frees the black queen, it might be not that bad, because at least it also reduces black spawn points close to the black mosquito and the black end. And then the black queen has to move. I think the black queen must move. The question is the position after that better or worse for Dube?
So these are some of the things that a top Hive player has to think about in the pressure of a tournament game.
Yeah, no, I'm not convinced that it's a good move to jump with a hopper in either direction. I think at this point I probably would bring another mobile piece like the ladybug somewhere. Yeah, or going for an end pin release, but also that takes valuable time. It also means that the end is not available for a different defensive move as soon as it's pinned by its own piece. Yeah, so the consideration is, can I afford to lose one more move? Or do I have to attack right away? But the answer seems to be like, if he attacks right away, it just gets worse for him. At best, it stays the same.
So then let's see what he's about ready to do. Oh, is he going to climb up?
That I think he risks to move. If his count is correct, and if he doesn't lose now just by pure math, then of course he has a better position, because he can potentially even go further and pin the mosquito, the black mosquito, the next move, after maybe doing a direct drop. But of course, it seems like a step back the moment the mosquito goes up, because you lose a killed spot, which is already filled. And with Joe still having 5 pieces in reserve, he can really put a lot of pressure on.
So now, if Joe places a grasshopper Right. Oh, he's put it over there.
Mhm. Yes, it makes sense. Imagine you would put the grasshopper where you have your cursor right now.
That's what I
Then
was thinking.
both hoppers would aim on the same kill spot. But if he fills the kill spot where his new hopper is aiming on right now, and then Dube makes an aggressive move and frees the hopper, then that hopper can aim on a different kill spot.
But look at this thought though, Christian. At this point, if the hopper jumps to east of the queen, then when the mosquito is free, it has an angle of attack to that spot here.
That's true. That's true. So he jumps over. I think it's probably now kind of a forced win, maybe.
For Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Now, he had to do that. Otherwise, he would free the mosquito and then the vacated spot is immediately filled again. He had to do that. And it also frees the white end. So potentially he can gain the tempo he needs. And Joe doesn't have so many extra pieces as long as his mosquito hopper and the other ends are pinned. So that was actually a good move by Frank. Yeah, what if white attacks now with that hopper? I wonder if Frank can attack now. So what would happen at this point? Joe could risk to go down, for example, with his beetle to put more pressure on. And then Frank would be forced to lift his queen out. And then it would look like a draw.
Well,
It's like
or he could lift the black grasshopper to here.
Yeah, that's even better. That's even better. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I think Joe is still ahead because it's too difficult for Frank to make progress without releasing either the mosquito or the hopper. Yeah, this is the move I was talking about a bit earlier. If necessary, then after doing the direct drop, then the white mosquito could move ahead and potentially also cover the black beetle, which was kind of set to be the final piece to finish the game. But if the black beetle is covered by the white mosquito, then Joe would have to bring in another piece first. Yeah, usually it's much easier to see from the outside if you're not playing what's going on and to advise the best moves or what we think are the best moves. But here I have to admit that I'm kind of lost with ideas. I'm not really sure what is the best move here.
I don't think that Frank has time to cover the mosquito.
Yeah, I agree.
because all Joe needs to do is bring in his last grasshopper.
I have an idea. What about a spider next to the grasshopper to the very left? Because that would threaten to pin that new grasshopper, but also threatens to pin the black ant.
The black ant.
So it has a double function there. The spider can go down.
So an ambiguous spider.
Yeah.
Okay, so Joe's next bug, is it a grasshopper here or a beetle there?
I think the grasshopper would be the better choice, because if he plays the beetle, he creates a hex trap. So if that beetle would be pinned, for example, by releasing one of the black ants, so Frank uses one of his ants, then this spot is much harder to fill. It's still, of course, at the moment able to be filled by the black beetle, but sooner or later the white mosquito might cover the black beetle, and then it's definitely harder. So I don't think there is a disadvantage to using the hopper at the spot you suggested initially. And usually just what I do is I try to keep the beetles a bit longer. If I don't bait someone with the beetle and expect it to be pinned, then I would first try to get my other pieces pinned, because the beetle is just so powerful when it can climb on top and is unstoppable then. Even if it doesn't seem to make a difference immediately, sometimes you overlook something. So I find it's a safer choice to first attack with the hoppers and then leaving the beetles for later. Yeah.
So that's
okay.
interesting.
So that he expects that spot to be filled. And then the
so
white,
can
the
he
black.
protect this spot up here northwest of the white queen by, he's going to have to pin the black ant.
Okay, so now the black ant will be pinned to avoid the immediate loss. And then maybe the beetle comes in. And that beetle must be pinned by the white ant, which releases then a black ant. Yeah, and that black ant will fill the spot southeast of the black beetle. And then the pillbug is fully surrounded, offering the black beetle to just crawl two hex fields into the last kill spot. And then to stop that, the white mosquito would, of course, first have to cover the black beetle, but by doing so, then the black mosquito underneath would be released. So I think it's a kind of a forced win for Joe. What? That would lose immediately.
Yeah, that would have been a blunder.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, the white beetle comes in, but not to the northwest of the black ladybug, but probably he would go the safer way and put his beetle between the black ladybug and the black hopper. But it would be a forced pin for Frank, and then he has to give up his black end pin. And at this point, Joe has enough time because now Frank is at least 4 moves away from winning if he would continue to attack. I don't think I don't understand why he pinned it that way, because potentially Joe could even place a spider now, threatening to win. Yeah. Instead of going directly for the beetle, he first just tries to squeeze him more. Of course, it's not so hard to defend, but that spider can then, for example, pin down the free end. The end which pins the black end. If he does that, it's maybe a bit hard for me to describe without pointing it out with the cursor. Then there would be other implications that after a while, Joe could try to shift his last kill spot, for example, by moving his ladybug to the left. And suddenly the last kill spot would be the one where his ladybug is right now, and that changes the game. But it really depends on if he's playing the spider right now or the beetle. Randy, do you see a defense if the black beetle is played?
I don't think there is, because the way this ant placed the pin on the black ant here, leaving this spot open, this ant down here cannot pin the beetle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wondering. The only thing what he could do is advance with the white mosquito. Yeah, but if he plays it there, I think that pin was, yeah. Now in this position, then of course Frank can pin the beetle.
Yeah, that's suboptimal, that spot.
Yeah, because even if he plays it to the right and it can't be pinned, but then the white mosquito could advance, but that leaves like the direct drop opportunity to the left of the queen, and that frees the black mosquito, and then it's a forced win as well. So yeah, that's definitely the spot to go. I think it's a forced win from here. It's a bit unfortunate that Frank pinned the black end where he did. Even if he has time to shift it around, it's just a lost tempo to reposition the pin position.
Yeah, there's no defense, because Frank requires at least 4 moves to win.
Yeah.
And if the beetle doesn't get pinned, then he goes up and over in 2.
Yeah, I don't understand what Joe's waiting for. Maybe is there a threat we don't see?
Well, let's ask this question. If Joe places the beetle, what happens if the white mosquito moves forward? Because then the black beetle goes on top of the ladybug. Then the white mosquito can pin it.
But then what I said before, then Joe will place a new piece as the spider into that direct drop thing. Exactly where you have your cursor.
Right.
Which frees on the black mosquito. And the black mosquito can act then again like a
beetle.
Like a beetle, but also it means the white pillbug is completely surrounded, so he can also march with his black beetle.
Right. So do we agree this spot here, northwest of the black ladybug, is the worst spot?
Yeah. I think
okay, so there's no defense here. 3,
4, 5, 6. So I see a forced win in 6, maybe even better. But if we do exactly that, so it's not pinned, but the white mosquito moves forward, then you have that direct drop. That would be the second move. Then the third move would be, what would be the third move? There's really not much Frank can do.
No. So he falls on his sword. So Joe says, yeehaw. So first game this evening goes to Jewdoka, ties the match at 1-1. And it's interesting, both games so far have been won by black.
I think it was a pretty good game. I didn't see like obvious flaws, maybe at the end, this pin, but at that point it was probably already too late.
So we're discussing where they're going to play. So Frank says, let's play one more. So I'm going to close this room and wait for them to.
I think it was a typical Jewdoka game where he is kind of first defensive, but then creates a position from where he has a lot of time to advance with his own attack. I have run into that trap many times when playing Joe.
Oh, it doesn't look like it's in the review room yet. Maybe it doesn't go to the review room till everybody exits. So the match is now tied 1 game each. Black has won both of them. We'll be playing game 3, where Dube will be starting with white again. So can Jewdoka keep up the black continuing to win?
I predict at 90% that Frank will not play the white mosquito, the white pillbug again as the first starting piece. I think he is kind of burned now from that.
That is interesting. I can't review here.
Strange.
And in the review room,
maybe because
the game hasn't shown up yet.
Okay. No, I thought they were still in the room. Maybe that blocks the review.
It might be. Apollo Q is still in the room.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just like released for free review once that both players have left the playing room.
So I'll send John a note asking him to exit the room if he's there. So it's approaching 10:30 here, my time. It's approaching 9:30 Joe's time and 7:30 Frank's time. Frank's on the West Coast. Joe is in South Dakota, and I'm here in Florida. And of course, it's summertime down in Australia, right, Christian?
Yes, it's very hot since like the beginning of the week, and I had switched on the aircon for the first time this year, but
So
I embrace it. A long cold winter, cold very relative, but for Queensland it was cold, meaning like 8 degrees at nighttime Celsius.
So how hard was it to adapt to winter being in December? I'm sorry, summer being in December.
It's actually just strange around Christmas time. I find it ridiculous that all the windows, the shops, they dress the windows with fake snow and sleighs while it's outside 35 degrees Celsius or up to like, I think it's around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It just doesn't belong there. And on big roundabouts, they have huge cardboard Santa Clauses on sleighs. And you think like, what are they doing there? Of course, Australia has special postcards where they have the Santa Claus on the beach. And so they adapted that. But the whole theme of Christmas, as I'm used to it as a European with snow and Christmas fur, and it's just, it's hard to adapt here because of the different almost subtropical climate, at least in Queensland. I mean, where I am, it's not really subtropical. It's more, but if you go a couple of 100 kilometers north, then you have even more lush rainforests and more humidity.
And Andrew P. says it's 6:30 in Alaska. So he's watching from Alaska.
Oh, wow.
And is there snow on the ground up there, Andrew? So you had mentioned turning on the air conditioning. So a little air conditioning. Oh, they're getting ready to start. So I won't have time for my story.
What's the temperature in Alaska right now?
Here, we're still in the 80s during the day.
Okay.
But we had a threat of a tropical storm this week, so we had a lot of rain. And you were right, Frank did not open with the pill bug. He opened with a grasshopper.
No surprise. I think I need a conversion chart from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Oh.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So I played that several times with Frank, and at first he wasn't that comfortable, but he won several times against me with that opening, and I reckon he has also played this opening against other players. I think he just wants to avoid to play the absolute standard start. So this opening for white is very good defensively. I still haven't really figured out why it is so hard to attack, but I struggle with it. I mean, if I'm the attacker. It seems to invite a quick black attack, but it's not that easy.
So is it too early for white to warp over the black queen, a black ant, and absorb?
Yeah, I think it might be a bit early because in general, you want to keep your mosquito still at that place, especially with this opening, because it's such a good defense. You potentially can warp your queen not only to a spot to the left, but also to the lower right using the mosquito. So I would not move the mosquito away. And if he doesn't plan to, then there's no point to warping the black end anyway. But it seems like Joe wants to avoid that at all costs. So he places his new end there to prevent that. The question is now, does Dube want to pin both ends? It's not ideal because sooner or later one of the ends might be freed, but so would be then the white mosquito. So I think, yeah, not sure. What's the better thing to do here? To repin and pin both ends and lose basically a tempo, or to bring in a new end, which is probably repinned, pinned immediately by the black end. At least if he does that and black pins immediately, then as you pointed out, white would we have the opportunity to warp away the black end and free his own mosquito.
So do you think that Frank is thinking about how he can limit the spawn points for the black pill bug?
No, I mean, there are so many spawn points right now. I think what Joe will do is he will probably pin. Because if he pins at the right spot, then he also limits the potential points where the queen can be lifted to. Yeah, that's what I mean. So now already Frank can't lift his queen to the lower left of the white pill bug. But at this point, maybe it's not too bad to, okay. I think Frank will not attack. It would be a bit too bold at that point. But yeah, okay. He is threatening at least to, if he fills that spot to the lower right of the black queen, then of course there is no obvious spot for a black pill bug. On the other hand, if black continues to attack, the white pill bug is already kind of neutralized because it doesn't have many points to lift out the queen. So I think probably Joe will just place his. Okay, but if you would place his pillbug now, then it is at least prone to pillbug harassment, to mosquito harassment. White could just place the mosquito right next to it. That's probably what I would do. Just being inconvenient and
bring the mosquito down here next to the pill bug.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if the black queen is then lifted over, it would just stretch out the black pieces. And he has to react. If he doesn't, even if he pins his black pillbug to avoid that it gets lifted out, then the queen is lifted out.
So Andrew P. on my YouTube page says it's 26 Fahrenheit or -3 Celsius in Alaska, in Anchorage.
Okay, that's pretty moderate for Alaska, I guess.
Well, November has barely started.
Yes, it's still fall.
So what are the highest temperatures you are expecting in Alaska?
That really depends on where Alaska you are. In the southern end, it can get pretty Pretty warm. I would say the 80s, low 80s in the summer.
Is that around like 20, 25 degrees Celsius?
I think so.
I'm just guessing. Yep. Okay, that's the move. That's what we are expecting. I wonder what if Joe would attack right away with his end and then follow up with the beetle attack. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be 8 moves from here to win for Joe. And if then, okay, he does it like that. Okay, that's a good counter. But I still think that was a good move by Frank, that pillbug harassment. The thing is, now he, the black mosquito threatens to warp away the white end and free the mosquito. Which is then also available as a defense against the upcoming white beetle. It would be able to reach the pillbug, but not the queen.
So Andrew's answer regarding weather and anchorage, it rarely goes above 85 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius in the summer. Alaska is a big state though, and it can get much warmer or colder depending on where you live.
Okay, but 29 degrees Celsius is already quite a bit. That's not much lower than probably any other region in this world. But if people like me here, Alaska, we immediately think like there must be eternal ice and glaciers, and you rarely see the grass. But I think that's not true. That's just a stereotype.
Well, you also have to remember that in certain parts of Alaska, daylight is 18, 20 hours during the summertime. So they have wonderful growing seasons for their farmers.
Oh yeah, didn't think of that.
And the temperatures in Alaska have been higher in recent years as well.
That must be because of climate change, or is there any other logical explanation?
I'm sure it's climate change.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we've got a white beetle coming from 2 different directions.
Because one of them can be pinned by the mosquito, which has ladybug ability. But it's not, I don't, Yeah, but what if one of the beetles is first pinned by the black ant, and then if the second one tries to approach, interesting. That's not what I was expecting. So quick count, I think we are still at 8 for black, and the count for white would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wonder if Joe has actually counted, because my quick count says he could attack right away with his with his end. Once he would have the beetle up, then he would have 2 direct drops, which reduces count. Yeah, I think at this point, Frank will feel much more comfortable. Because he's now like, he knows he has almost already neutralized the pill bug. He is still not on the defense. He still has 5 bucks in reserve. But actually, it's getting already a bit close because Joe has 2 beetles and 2 ants and a mosquito. They have all purposes apart from 1 ant, which is really free to block something else.
So do you think Joe's going to pin the spider?
No, he's not. I think he rather brings in a new ant, because for me it seems like if he really wanted to be aggressive, he would have attacked immediately, counter-attacked, and hope that he gets away with it. And my super quick count indicated that he could have attacked. But the fact that he didn't means probably now that he will play defensively and try to just deplete White's resources. Because even if the black beetle is pinned, he can release it sooner or later by placing another piece to the right of the black pillbug. I mean, of course, the advantage is that the white beetle could make progress and move on to the pillbug without being immediately recovered. But it has to stay there for quite a while. So, and once the black beetle is then released somehow, then this black free beetle can, they can cover the white beetle, which is on top of the pillbug. The reason why I think he will not pin the spider is because then White would bring in an ant. So Joe wouldn't gain much. Or he wouldn't gain anything. It would be just a delay. Instead, if he brings in another ant, then he can prepare already for the next ant coming in. Okay, so he's basically placing a block so that this can't be pinned. And the ambiguous spider pinned the black ant, which is a very good move. I didn't even see that. I was so focused on that beetle pin.
And the spider also has a good point, can move into there, freeing the ladybug.
And free. I have the feeling this is becoming a good game. Okay. I think Frank tries to now limit Joe's mobility. This ladybug is clearly aimed to pin the black ant. And after that, he can try to free his own ant, which is currently pinned by the black ant. So he realizes if he would just attack straight, like all out, he would probably run out of bugs. So now he's taking a step back and tries to limit Joe's mobility with all the ants.
So what do you think of that, covering the ladybug?
It's the same. It's the same idea. I think it's good because if he had pinned the end first, then obviously the ladybug would be gone. While the end, he can pin the next move. There's still time unless the white ladybug is pinned by the black spider. The black end pinning the white end doesn't go anywhere because its purpose is to pin the end. So that's the reason why he could wait and first make sure that the black ladybug doesn't escape. That's a move I don't understand. It's not really super aggressive. It allows the white beetle to advance towards the queen. Not immediately, but sooner or later. So I think maybe now comes the end pin. Oh, it seems every time we play, my phone is going off.
It was too popular.
I'm sorry, I have to go for now.
Okay. So the white ladybug attacks with a ring. So it'll be interesting to see how Joe breaks the ring.
There's actually 2 rings formed by that move.
It is a double ring. That's interesting. So if Joe does not break the lower ring, it'll allow the white mosquito to climb up. Let's see, what if Joe, if he warps the black queen out, then the white beetle can begin to march.
Well, he could use the ant at the top of the screen to
Right.
pin the queen.
So let's see what other options there are. He could use the pill bug to warp the white mosquito away. He's got to do something to keep the white mosquito from just directly climbing up onto the black pill bug. So that's the key threat right now. So he can stop that a couple different ways. He can stop it with one of the ants pinning the mosquito. But then the mosquito could warp the black pill bug in, which would give the white beetle an opportunity to cover the pill bug immediately. But so I don't think that's what he would do. If he warps the queen away, warps the queen away. Okay, and now the white beetle has free march. So a defensive grasshopper. I don't think there's anything to stop the white beetle from marching forward. Nope, he's going to do a pen replacement first. So white is critically low on bugs. He only has 3 left in the reserve. One of them is an ant. Yep, that's what I thought. Yep, I think that Joe is counting on the fact. Interesting. Does white have enough bugs to win, however? He might, because he needs 5. He's got 2 in reserve. The possibility of the mosquito getting up is going to be close. So if white's attack doesn't succeed with 4 bugs in reserve, black has a very strong counterattack possibility. Of course, that spider placement here, if he leaves it there, is looking to go to do a pin replacement here.
I just don't see Frank with enough bugs.
I don't think so.
He'd have to get that spider all the way around, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Now the question is, does Joe have enough? Probably not. So Andrew asked the question, stretching out the hive favor the player with more bugs in reserve. And that is correct if the reserve has enough bugs that can deliver the win. Okay, let's see what kind of notes. I'm going to have to open the chat window. Nope. Just checking to see if they were saying anything. To top the hive, let's assume that black is not able to stop either one of those. That's 1, 2. The grasshopper is 3. Needs to come up with 2 more. The ladybug could easily become one of them. I don't think the spider can. I keep hearing noises, so I don't know whether it's coming from the lobby. Nope, it's coming from the lobby. I keep the chat window closed so that you can see better on my YouTube channel. But then I miss if there's any conversation going on between the two players.
Hi, Randy. I'm back. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
That was a very, very important call. Okay. I tried to catch up.
So the hive has gotten stretched out quite a bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Frank only has one more bug in reserve.
Does it look already drawish, or do you think one player has still a good chance to make it?
Let's see if where the spider can go. If he doesn't place the grasshopper, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So looks to me like Joe has a slight advantage in material. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think Frank's chances to win are already very limited. And I think Joe's chances are maybe like 10–15% better. I think to win, one player would have to really to squeeze and force either a shutout or Zugzwang, Bugzwang, however you call it.
Bugzwang.
Yeah, very, very difficult to do with 2 free beetles on top of the hive.
Right.
Yeah, no, I would say it's like a 75 to 80% draw. Or chances that a draw happens is like 80%. Yeah, because at that point, I think if Joe pins only one more piece, Frank can't win anymore. He has a spider free and he has one piece in reserve. I think we can almost assume that his queen and Pillbug will not make the way all the way down to the black spider. Yeah, it's really a fight for position to deplete the other player's resources. And only then you can just start to really restructure the hive, especially when you have a pillbug. Then if you are not under time pressure, then for example, the white pillbug might go all the way around and pin the spider at the very south, just to give an extreme example. And that might be then enough to force black to make a move which black doesn't want to do. But this is very far away, and I don't think that will happen. I mean, Frank's advantage is that he has still the pillbug protection, which makes it much harder for Joe to attack, because it means he needs at least one beetle stationary for a while on the queen or on the pillbug.
Do you see any path that the ladybug can take to get down into attacking position? And of course, Joe's time is 9.5 plus 9.5.
Okay, that might be, of course, an advantage for Frank. Yes, I see a path, and it would be a long-term restructuring. If you see the hopper on the southeast to the white pillbug, and yes. Below that hopper, if white can get a spot there, then you can take all the pieces which are currently north of that long string, and you could reshift them and put them on the south, to the south, which means they would have to all crawl around the hive, around the black spider. But if that happens, then white would be in a much better position to attack. So all the 4 pieces he has now as a conglomeration of bugs at the moment, they must become much more active. They must spread out and force their way around, because this is the only way for Frank to have enough material. On the other hand, Joe can, for example, free his black beetle. And once he does that, the black beetle can go on top and pin the white ant. And after that has happened, then the black queen is free to move, for example, all the way to the south and replace the spider, which is currently pinning that white ant at the very south. So both players have the opportunity to restructure a lot. And for that reason, I think it will end in a draw, especially with Joe just having 2 minutes left on the clock. If I was Frank, I would be probably stop for a minute or two, come up with a plan, and then play very fast and try to put more time pressure on Joe, and hope that that it's enough for Joe to blunder, so that Frank can take advantage of that. But at a regular pace or a normal play, I doubt that one player has really kind of a forced win from this position on.
So all of a sudden we went from Frank being short in the reserve to now Joe is out of reserve.
Yeah, I just saw that as well. That was kind of surprising. I think at this point, Joe just tries to preserve a draw. Yeah, and I think Frank will try to create a bug swung. You say bug swing or swing,
bug
but
swing.
You know, like it comes from the German word Zugzwang.
Right.
So But I know that English people have trouble saying that very harsh Z sound. You would say zwang, and I would say zwang. Zwang means in German, it means force, or it's like, yeah, but not force in a way of power. It's more like I force you to do something. And Zug means move. So it's a forced move. That's the literal translation. Okay.
I was actually a little bit surprised that Joe moved his beetle that direction. I thought that your idea of moving your queen out around here would preserve the draw.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the elbow right here does not allow the queen to get past.
Exactly. And also, if Joe doesn't move his beetle, I think a good choice for a good move for Frank would be to lower his beetle onto that other beetle, because there are basically two black pieces he can pin with one white, one of white pieces. Usually it's not that important, but at this stage, when you are trying to force a shutout, for example, or a Zugzwang, then it becomes more important. Or I think what also can happen is that the white mosquito goes ahead on top of the spider to force. Yeah, actually, it's not necessary, because if the black hopper jumps over, then the white spider can pin both hoppers in a string. So that hopper is already out of the equation. So potentially right now, Joe has only his queen left to move and the beetle, while Frank has still a hopper in reserve, and of course 3 pieces at the very top of the hive. And yeah, if I was in his position, I would definitely fight for a win from here on, because the opportunities, the options are immense with a free pillbug. And if you have 2 or 3 additional pieces, you can do some very strange or crazy maneuvers. For example, surrounding a black ant on 5 sides. On 5 sides, and then use the pillbug to lift the black end out to a place where it's more convenient for you. So you almost fully surround the piece which is in your way, and then you lift it to another place where it makes more sense for you. In this case, the black end doesn't make sense, but it can be done basically with any piece. Okay, so but now we have the situation I was predicting earlier, what you said, like with the elbow. Black pinned the queen, the white end, to make way for the queen to escape. But he's sacrificing his beetle. Yeah. Oh, and Joe is down 10.5 minutes. Okay. So now I revise it and say Frank's options or chances to win are probably like 50% at least. He has enough pieces to shut Joe out completely. I really like those games. They can easily last 150 to 200 moves. But also they can be played rather fast once you see like a certain path. I don't understand why Frank did that. I really don't get that. That was, from my point of view, unnecessary. Maybe it was just a quick move to keep on the time pressure. But Joe basically can just move left, right, left, right, left, right with his queen. Or right, left, right, left. So once Frank gets his last hopper in, then he should be able to pin the queen. And from that point on, he can force black to release pieces. So at the moment, how many pieces does he have free? Like 2, 3, and one's already surrounded. So he needs at least 2 more pieces. It's ambitious, but it can be done. Yeah, I really like to play those games. This is, I think, where experience comes in. Because there are like certain tricks which are not obvious for beginners. What you can do if you have only 1 or 2 pieces more. The beginner would think like, okay, the game is over. I only have 3 pieces. How can I surround the opponent's queen when I need 5 or 6? But to find like ways to force the other person to release some bugs, that is what you can basically only learn with experience. You can read it in a book and you can pick up certain techniques, but I think the most effective technique to do that is just by playing it. And you don't play those games very often. It happens maybe every 1 in 20 games, 1 in 30 games. What I don't understand is what Frank is doing there with the mosquito. He obviously tries to pin it, but I think there are more elegant solutions to do that quicker. And he shouldn't be shy. Okay. Now I see his black beetle is still free. That's the reason why he's going first for pinning all the other pieces. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, that was a good maneuver from Joe to get his hopper free. And he only did this by having the spider exactly in that spot. I think Frank could have prevented that, but obviously he played on time. And Joe is nearing the 11-minute mark. Yeah, so he has to play there because no, he didn't have to. He didn't have to, but I think it's something he should have or could have done already earlier. Because if he jumps over, then he threatens to pin the queen, which can then escape, but only temporarily. It can only move to the right and then back to the left. Otherwise, it would free the white ladybug. I feel like Frank missed a bit of opportunities here so far, or he could have played it a little bit better. But on the other hand, looking at the time, he might have done the right thing by not overthinking it, but just playing quickly. If you have your opponent already down to 11 minutes, it might be a good choice. Oh, okay. That now he has to go back. Otherwise, once the white end is free, that would be really bad. So this is what I mean. Now, if I would be Frank, I would walk all the way with the queen, like the next, around the hive, the next 10 moves or so, which takes him only 2 seconds per move if he's really quick. I think what's more likely is that Joe's running out of time. For some reason, he still doesn't think he needs to speed up. He has just 30 seconds left. "20 seconds, oh my God. 15 seconds, 17 seconds left. I really can't fathom why Joe is still taking the time. At this point, I would just move anything. Okay. Frank doesn't want to blunder and takes his time. I would just pin the queen with his hopper.
No, I think you're right. I think I would pin the queen with the hopper too.
Because then it's like you have already something you don't have to think about anymore. You know, there's the queen, it's pinned down, you need 4 more pieces, you have a free pillbug, a free mosquito. You can do a lot with that. I think the next strategy could be first pinning the queen, and then the next strategy would be to bring the mosquito up the hive and chase down the black beetle. Yeah, but no, if he goes to the right, then the mosquito gets pinned. He can't do that. Well, it's not a big deal. He can just move maybe 1 spot to the right, and then the next move, yeah, exactly, to avoid that he gets pinned. Yeah, now he has all the freedom, and now he can start chasing down the beetle. But I still don't understand why he didn't pin in the first place.
I don't need. I get the queen.
Okay, so Joe now. Okay, that's good for Frank, because otherwise Joe would have 2 pieces free. Yeah, Joe does still a good job, but I think it's really the tournament pressure. Frank doesn't want to screw it up, so he takes the time. But on the other hand, obviously, he still gives Joe enough time to find like complications. I mean, I have seen games or experienced games myself in such a position where everything looked so clear. that in this case Joe would win the game. It seems very unlikely, but sometimes one or two mistakes are enough, and then the game turns around very unexpectedly. Yeah, now it's. I think Frank really lost some opportunities here. The black mosquito free is really, really bad for Frank when he tries to win. It's like a huge step back. He had already pinned everything apart from like one or two mobile pieces. And now it looks much more like a draw again.
The black mosquito is free, but it doesn't really have a lot it can do. Because if it does much, it frees the white ant.
I think the white pillbug should release the black spider, because then it can march towards the black ant. He needs to release somehow his ant again. White needs more mobility again. And I don't see many opportunities. His white hopper at the south is kind of stranded there. It can move left and right, but it can't move up because that would release the black hopper. And Joe has a bit more breathing space again, time-wise. 1 minute 20. I think psychologically it's very, oh, that would be a mistake, I guess. It's pinned, yeah. He will be, yeah, and then black hopper jumps over, then he can't. Okay. But that's very, very costly.
Very instructive on how players can fight to get ants free.
Yeah, but I found that Frank's ant, the way how he freed his ant was very costly, because basically he needs 3 pieces to free his ant, and that doesn't get him anywhere closer to a win, because it's all about material right now, and of course mobility, right? Yeah. If Frank doesn't come up with a better idea, then Joe can just hop back and forth with his hopper and try to force a draw by repetition. I don't know. I get a bit confused. Of course, white is Frank and Joe is black. But still, it's the same idea. If the black ant is persisting to pin the white mosquito, it will be very difficult for white to come up with a good plan. Yeah, so Frank is down from having pinned almost a mosquito and all 3 ants to now having Joe having a mosquito and an ant free. That makes it almost impossible to win for Frank now. I think they will still try. If Joe runs out of time, this is the only way how I can envision that he loses that game. Or is forced to make a blunder.
Dube
Oh,
says
draw.
he's got to go soon. I'm good with the draw. If you think you can still want to try to win, we can resume another time. Jewdoka asked draw, so I think they're going to figure out a draw.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of disappointment for Frank. Under other circumstances, he would be probably happy with the draw, but seeing that he had like a very good position, and then
Well, the thing about it is,
again,
not only did he have a good position, but he had Joe on the ropes time-wise.
Yeah.
So game 3 ends in a draw. The match is tied 1.5 points apiece after 3 games.
It makes the overall match much more interesting.
And we'll play 3 more games, right?
It's a 6-game match. First one to 3.5 points. So if somebody wins the next 2, it's over. If not, so it looks like everybody's quitting. Game end in a draw. So thanks, Christian, for your commentary. Go get some sleep. Go get some sleep so you can wake up in the middle of the night for the tournament tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm still excited. I don't care so much about the rank I will end up with, but it's the experience.
It should be exciting. I may be able to watch the first round or so.
Yeah. And it's also more like a test play, so for more tournaments like that to come.
Right.
I think everyone was excited about that live tournament when the Mind Sports Olympics were going on Board Game Arena. But many players were not happy with the rule sets and how it was organized, and was all a bit messy. And I think based on that, now the people who try to organize this tournament, they try to learn from that and up the game and make it more user-friendly. And of course, it should be also better, because if the players themselves organize it, they know exactly what they want and what they need and what they dislike or disliked in the previous tournament.
Yep. So the Mind Sports Olympiad next year is going to almost assuredly have Hive, and they're going to allow me to help them with setting up the tournament. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out how to do it a little bit better this year. You'll have a little bit more time. It won't be as stressed trying to get everything going. And of course, the Mind Sports Olympiad people aren't that familiar with Hive, and so didn't understand the importance of the tournament rule. That's why they ended up with 3 tournaments. So next year everything will have the tournament opening rule. So I think that's it for this evening. Thanks for joining us, Christian.
Thanks for the hosting. And yeah, I always like to come on your channel, and then always think later on when I watch the review, oh, why didn't I do this, or why did I get so excited about this? And then I'm so much in my own thoughts, but I'm not able sometimes to really convey what I meant, especially if I don't have the cursor like you do, because otherwise I would just point on the bug and I have to think, okay, move the ladybug to the southwest of the white pillbug. It's just, for me, not very intuitive to describe.
Well, what we need to do then, Christian, is I'll tell you what, I am going to stop the broadcast right now. So I'm going to end the live